Alright, so I've set up my Mcleod RST clutch that I buy from Amp. I got a good deal on that clutch. I've previously run single disc clutches in the past. My power level is really only on the threshold of needing a single disc, but I haven't had too good of luck with single disc clutches, or at least not with drag radials, autocross, etc. It seemed to make more sense just to do this. This is the organic RST, so it's dual organic discs. I think they're like 9 5/8 or something diameter, so they're a little bit smaller, supposed to shift really well. A lot of Corvette guys are running them and seem to praise them for the most part. I mean, there's always something, but so hopefully this is going to be the right choice. I think it is. I had an really aggressive, centered single disc. On the street, it just grabbed so much, and then you really wanted to have to slip it off the line just so the car, was more livable. It didn't like that. It just built a bunch of heat in the disc. Even though with like 1,200 miles on it, the clutch was showing heat. So, like I said, I went with this organic dual disc RST, and I think it's going to be a good deal. I went through the whole procedure. Mcleod's got some pretty good instructions, I think, for the most part. The one thing to note, I am using a Ram throwout bearing, and there is a snap ring that stops it from over traveling. One thing you want to check is to make sure your snap ring fits within your inner diameter of the clutch fingers, or you have to remove it because it'll obviously cause problems. In this case, that's not an issue. I've already put the bearing retainer on the trans. I'll show that. I need to measure this. A couple of things also that you want to measure, and I can see it without even bothering with the straight edge, but the fingers, after you set this up, need to be below the surface of this. It's pretty obvious in this case that it is. And the other thing that I'll have to set up my total travel on my throwout bearing. And I'm looking, Mcleod doesn't give you a whole lot of instruction on that. I called them also, and they were like, yeah, anywhere from 10 to 20,000 or to 25 thousandths. And it was kind of interesting. He said, yeah, it'll, depending where you set it up, it'll change where your, the activation of the clutch or disengagement point will be, and engagement point on the pedal. I think with more distance, it gives you a shorter pedal travel. But I'm going to go right with about the, hopefully the secret sauce recipe of about 20 thousandths for a dual disc clutch. That's what I'm shooting for. And I'll just space this out with spacers on the transmission collar that came with the bearing. So I'll get to that here in a little bit.